beneficiary. It sets you up with four no cost benefits, one of which would be that, 3,000 policy that would go to me. Says no testing. The only problem is that we've been in the Chicago area for about 7 to 8 days now, servicing over 100 union members. And this is our last weekend in town. So, I sit down with about 10 families per day. So we have to find a good time where we can, either do it on Zoom virtually, or, if I could come out to you, if you are comfortable with me coming out to your phone during testing, where I can deliver these, explain them and answer any questions. Does that make sense? Break down those sessions. Today's the last day. When do you, what time do you get out of work? Today, what time do you get out of work today? Oh, you don't have to go anywhere. Kathy, I can come to you and deliver these to you now. Okay, well, then, are you familiar with that? I know, me neither. It's really simple. Okay, no problem. Kathy, how are you? You're married. Good. She's expecting the movie. A little more. She probably she doesn't know someone. Do you ever call your Spanish ones? Just. They're always. So, by the way, I know this, you have to give me some of that, or more to. Our whole. Issue. Like, her sister was translating, her sister was I should be trusting, but they took her restaurant away, and I'm just sitting. She's so, bye. Joe.
Let's see. Some success like.
It's dope for sure.
Cool. What's up, guys? Can you hear me? Thumbs up. Thumbs up for sure. Can you see me? Cool. Perfect. What's up, guys? If you don't know me, my name's Ray. I see my boy Bo Alacall. Everyone stop what you're doing and wish my boy a happy birthday. Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday.
That's a dog. We were at a party and he was juggling a ball in his head, and I'll never forget it. What a cool guy. That's an activity to do at a party. If you can do that, definitely do it. But what's up, guys? I'm gonna be doing sales coffee for you today. It's not gonna be like a very long coffee. It's gonna be like an espresso. Not too long, but pretty good still. I like espresso. I don't even drink coffee, I'm lying. But let's get some pen, paper, notes, and everything out. Just to give you guys the heads up, what we're going over today is just a few things that it's going to take to become a successful manager and the business here. Now, obviously, we're all here for sales, and we're trying to make sure we get the best out of our sales. So one of the best things we do in our team for a management team is we do workshops and a lot of these bigger things. So if you ever feel like you're messing up on sales, we want to make sure we're workshopping a lot of stuff. Now, the biggest thing I actually do want to go over here is quality and retention. I just had a really big workshop with Mike Laramie about this, and I don't know if you guys know anything about quality and retention yet, but it's like the basis of your renewals. Your retention is like your credit score in the business. Like if you have a really good credit score, you can get a really big house, and it's like you can put a low down payment on. It's like the same thing in American Income. If you have a really good credit score with your residual income, really good retention, the higher your residuals are, the bigger your bonuses is. And if you have really high retention, they even give you guys a bonus booster up to I think 20% based on retention. So imagine having a 20% bonus at the end of the month and get an additional 20% on top of that because you're over 90% retention, right? But retention is super important, and we always want to focus on the RTMQ, right? That's going to be recruiting, the team, management, and the reason we focus on quality specifically and our retention at the end of the day is because of our renewals, but for short term, it clears your accounts. You're able to get your back end sooner. We've all been on those Monday calls, and you see people who've been working here a few months that are just getting these huge back ends. If you guys have been on the call for a little bit, you've probably seen Ashley collect a 3-4 grand back end. You're like, wow, man, that's insane. It's because not only is she writing a lot of business, but she's writing a lot of good business. And it clears all your accounts, so the company's able to actually release more money that you have available to you guys as soon as you guys start writing more and more business, which is pretty dope. Now, the thing is, where you guys want to be at with retention is always. Have you guys ever seen a PNP? Do you guys know how that looks like? Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up. Matt Jans knows it. I know some of you guys know it for sure. Well, if you guys don't know what a PNP is, definitely go to your upline and be like, hey, can I look at my PNP? I want to see how this looks like. Some of you guys are newly released agents, so you guys are going to have that coming up in your first month here. But you typically want to shoot for 90% net to gross. Now, net to gross means is how much business you've submitted and how much you have on the books. Does that make sense, guys? Any questions on that? Yeah, cool. So it's net to gross. You want to have 90% net to gross. Now, you would love to have 100% net to gross. That means all the business you submitted all stays on the books. Everything's good to go. But guys, realistically, we're expected to lose just about 10% of our business up front, right? In our net to gross. And where you're going to lose it at is where you want to stay in these numbers right here. You want to have 2% ever on declines. 2% on withdrawals. 1% on incompletes. 4% on and cancellation. You could have up to 4%. 4, 8, 9, 5% declines, withdrawals, incompletes, cancellations. What was the last one, Dalton?
Decline, NTO.
NTOs. There you go. 1%. Now, declines, if you guys don't know what these are, declines are like if you sign someone up who's not healthy. Like if they have a health issue and they lied about that, the questions we ask on the end, and something came up, like they have like sickle cell, if they have cancer, they're getting declined. If they have AIDS, they'll get declined. If they have if they're really overweight, and they smoke and they have asthma, they're probably going to get declined. So that's where you're going to get your 2% from in declines. Withdrawals is like not insufficient funds. Like they changed their bank account or you can't get an access to it anymore. A lapsed policy in that sense, right? Incompletes and NTOs. Do you guys know the difference between an incomplete and an NTO? So an incomplete is like a bulletin. Like if you ever if you go, some of the people on my team go out in the field, and if you're in the field, you need to collect an oral. If you don't collect an oral and you submit the application, you're gonna get a bulletin that comes out and be like, hey, you need to get an oral to make sure they're not doing any tobacco or drugs or AIDS, stuff like that. And if you don't get that done, it'll go incomplete. And that's the worst because it's just like one thing that you could have done, one or two little things that you could have done in the appointment to just make sure that never happened, whether it was like a questionnaire, you needed to get an exam scheduled or make sure so you can prep them on the exam, or that they have to, they're gonna get like a bulletin to come out for an oral or something like that, or verify prescriptions or something. You want to make sure those are taken care of. You only want to have 1% of those because those are realistically like the easiest things you can prevent. Now, the next thing is, before I go to cancels, we'll go to NTOs. NTOs are mods. Like after the policy has been issued and you didn't take care of the modification, which is, they might have got a COD, which means they got a little increase on their premium, right? A slight rating. Anything above $10, we have to make sure we should let them know. We're gonna have to call them and go over that for them, So these are gonna be like your mods. If you have to get an RT99 signed, if you have to get an amendment signed, make sure they removed ADV, removed waiver of premium. These are the stuff that can go incomplete right here. Also, something very simple to prevent, as long as you have a good relationship with your client, you gotta let your client know as soon as you finish with that sale, it's not over. You have 6 to 8 weeks to need. I can hit you up at any given time and I'm gonna need some information from you guys, whether it's we have to set up a doctor's appointment or a physical for you, or I need to verify some information. Hey, the company needs to get in contact with you to go over your prescriptions. Whatever the case is, the thing is not over. The process of the sale is not over entirely. But it's nice after that 6 to 8 weeks, it is completely over. The only time they're really going to hit you up again is if they want to up their coverage. It's nice. So, 6 to 8 weeks, you never have to worry about it again in your life. But NTOs, super easy to prevent as well. And 4%, you're going to expect in cancellations. You're going to expect about 4% of the people you signed up to eventually cancel, right? Not everyone you signed up is going to carry on. We know this is a long-term game, so we want to make sure we're just staying around 4% for the cancellations. In total, that's just about 10%. And I guess I drew this all kind of wrong, but not wrong, but weird. It's 10% in total. So you have 10% of all this falls off to make you have a 90% net to gross. Now, what the data shows and what the statistics, you can look at it yourself, If you have a 90% net to gross, you are always gonna remain at a. 80% retention. Now, retention is super important. Does anyone know why retention is very important?
Business stays on the books.
Business that stays on the books. Yeah, exactly. You know, it stays on the books. What? Someone say something there?
Yeah, I was just saying, you're right. If you're gonna write a lot of stuff with a pen, might as well want to change that because it's so hard to see. I don't know if it's just me. Can you guys see that?
Yeah,
Okay,
it probably
Not
is,
bad.
dog. How's this?
that's much better, bro. There we go. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
The reason why retention is so important is because this influences your bonus, it influences your advance. Kind of like I was saying, like if you have a low retention, you know, if you have a low credit score, the bank, which is American Income, they're not going to give you a lot of money. They're going to be like, hey man, we have money for you. You have 20, 30 grand racks saved up for you. But the thing is, we need to make sure you're writing good business. So we're not just giving you money that you haven't made for the company yet. So with the good retention, if you stay at 80%, you're always going to get your bonus. You're never going to have to worry about not getting a bonus. You're going to get a great bonus. And if you stay at 85% and above after your first year, they'll give you a 10% bonus on top of your regular bonus. So a bonus, I don't even know the word, man. Like it's a bonus plus, bonus boost. Yeah, I think a bonus boost. If you ever check your ICM, I think that's what it says, bonus boost. It's pretty dope. So it's like, if you wrote $4,000 of business at the end of the month and you're already at 12K of business, so you're at a 20% bonus level and they bone $4,000, you get bonus 20% on that. Generally, that's like $800. On top of that, you're gonna be like, all right, of that $800, we're gonna give you an additional, let's say like 15%. So you'll make like a smooth $1,000 just on a bonus on top of your advance, just because you have high retention, which is pretty clean. Now, that's why retention is very important on that. Now, if you have, this is your 4th month retention. Your 4-month retention is going to be 80%. 20% of the business you write will typically fall off the books. Now, the best thing is, this has been the highest it's ever been in company history. So that means renewals are getting higher and higher, bonuses are getting higher and higher, and things are getting set up for the agents a lot better. Now, if that's your 4-month retention, your 13th month retention is your long term. This is what's going to be on your books forever, right? 13th month retention. If you have an 80%, you're going to get a 70% 13th month retention. And if you have a 70% 13-month retention, you are going to get some pretty sick renewals. You know how like, I don't know if you guys have heard, or I'm sure you guys have heard, but Tommy Vina, our state director, he gets some pretty nasty renewals. And one of the big things is because he kept really good retention. So the higher retention is, the more company you release to you. It's kind of crazy. Like you keep writing the business and you keep high retention. One day renewals can go from like 2, 3, 4,000 to jump all the way up to like 7,000 randomly next month, just because you kept good business and you're cleaning all your accounts. Make sense, guys? I don't know how all like accounting works on it, but like I'm not an accounting major. Hopefully no one else is here. But after that, that's kind of the stuff on retention. The last thing I'll go over is like, I just want to break down how you guys want, if you guys want to make some money, like I was just breaking this down for my people. I think it's a great way to look at it. Like typically, Sheila, how much money, again, you don't have to give me like an exact answer. How much money do you make minimum to take care of all your bills at the end of a month?
$2,000.
$2,000. Let's say you just need to make $2,000 at the end of the month. $2,000 a month to cover all your bills. That's not a lot of money, guys. Like that's really just like $500-$800 deals, right? That's nothing crazy. But if you need to make $2,000 and your average sale is 800 ALP, you need to make 5 sales to get 4K ALP because you roughly make just about 50%. So $2,000 would be 4,000 ALP. 4K ALP goes to average sale 800, so 5 sales. $800. For you to get 5 sales, how many people do you need to sit down?
15.
15. And you know, everyone's numbers is different. You know, some people might be a little bit lower. Like you only need to sit down with like 10 people, but some people might be a little bit higher, like 18 people. But yeah, typically you're gonna sit down with about 15 people, and that's like the bare minimum, right? If you sit down with 15 people, you're guaranteed to make 5 sales. So you sit down 15 seed, which leads you to have, if you need to see 15 people, how many appointments do you have booked?
30.
30. Okay, that's let's say we're doing all virtual all the time. Refresh lead pad, you're typically gonna take about it's about 1/3. For every 3 appointments you book, you'll see about 1 of them. And obviously, if you have referrals on, that ratio goes way up. You'll go to like 50, 60%. Referrals are fire. So really just look at this number off leads. And if this looks hard, just imagine like if I just put referrals in this, cut my work in half. But you see 15, that means you have to set 45 people. If you need to set 45 people, how many calls does it take for you to get 1 set?
30.
30 calls. If it takes 30 times 45, 1,200, 1,350. So just you have to make, right? Am I right? 1,350? Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
It's 45 times.
30?
Yep.
1,350. Yeah, so 1,350 calls. Now, if you have to make like 1,300 calls, 1,400 calls, you're like, where am I gonna get the time to call? Great question, guys. So these are the best times to call right here. From 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. every morning, you have a 33% higher chance of getting an answer from someone, because typically they're on like their way from work, they're on their way to work, they're just on their phone, or they're at work prior, just like chilling. Like, I don't know about you guys, when I worked at like a labor job, and I worked at the warehouse, I would get to my job and I would sit there on my phone for 20 minutes before I did any of my work. So like, you know, that's a lot of people do in general still. So, you know, 33% higher chance. So make sure we are calling in the morning. It's hot to call in the morning. You get good answers. Another time to call, obviously, we want to make sure everyone has lunch, but in lunch, there's a great time to call from about 12 to 1 right here. If you call once or twice a week, just in this period, 12 to 1, someone's lunch break, when you're on lunch, you're on your phone. You're going to get some answers. You're going to get them booked. And then the best time, of course, 3 to 9. Now, if you can make 30 calls in each of these slots, you go 90 calls right here. Another 30 calls right there. And you put 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6.5. So 180 calls over here. That's 270, 300. That's 300 calls in one call then. You need to do 1,350. Realistically, if you put 4.5 days of calling in, you're going to be good. And this is how you would be able to make guaranteed a minimum. And that's for like the month. You'd have to make 1,350 calls, right? This I'm just trying to do this all in 1 week. Because $2,000 a month, $2,000 a month is pretty low, but you can make $2,000 a week really here pretty fast. I don't know if anyone's seen Ashley pop off the group, but she definitely made 2 racks this week. So, but that's kind of how you make like $2,000 to the calls, the number of sales you need to know, appointments you need to have, set, everything. And that's what time is it? We got like 30 more minutes. That's my espresso, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Other than that, go rock it, go bang these phones, go make sure we get some ALP in today. I look forward to seeing all your guys' faces in the group chat. Have a wonderful day, guys.
I do. Shit.